Well, hello, you lovely folks. How's it going? Welcome to the show. It's good to be back. This one was hard-earned, man. I've had a rough week. Or actually, rough 2 weeks. Been a lot of work. It's good to be here. Hopefully your long weekend is going well. Oh, man. Goodness. Taking a sip of delicious sugar-free vitamin water. Oh, Twitch has reminded... Oh, God. Yes, Gucci, what's going on? Check this out. Oh, no, not stream ended. I'm not done yet. That's the key I meant to press. It's September. I don't know what that means. Save up to 30% on new subs until 9:30. Learn more. What does this mean, Twitch? Is this some way to slightly less overpay for overly expensive subscriptions? Why, yes it is. 30% off a 6-month sub. Okay. I didn't even know you could sub for multiple months at a time. I guess we all learn things. Every day. Oh god. The Twitch water that's attacking. Twitch water. Vitamin water. My body senses things that might potentially be healthy and it's rejecting them instantly. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Okay, so that's a fun way to intro. Oh god. Okay. So yeah. Like I said, I've been working a lot. I missed last Wednesday because I got to sort of impromptu cover a 24-hour call for one of my partners. That was awesome. He had surgery back in January, and this past week was the only week that we couldn't get covered. And we were just like desperately trying to find somebody to cover his call and could not do it. So it actually ended up that like there were only 2 of us who could even take it, like who were even available, because like, so there were, you know, 2 people who like had call the same, or like the day before. One had call the day before, one had it the day after. The 2 people on vacation were gone and out of town. And so it was either me, and I had call on Monday. So, and the other guy was going to do a Friday, Sunday, and Thursday call, because that's just sort of what we do before we're on vacation. And we just like get burned for a week, and then you get to relax. So yeah, so I took a Monday and Wednesday call. So I was on call 5 times in 15 days. And the last 2 were actually pretty rough. I was up most of the night. So, yeah, that actually inspired the topic of tonight's talk, which is discussing the pros and cons of doing medicine in academics or in private practice. Because there are definitely ups and downs to both. And we've talked fairly extensively about them on the stream in the past, but kind of in passing. So I figured doing it in kind of a more organized, dedicated way would be a good idea. But more importantly, this character is coming together really nicely. And I've gotten a fair few upgrades that are pretty awesome. But I do need to fix my fire resistance, because I crafted this fucking insane belt earlier today. This is like easily the most valuable piece of gear I have. It's probably worth more than literally everything else that I have. Which is awesome. And I did it in like hardly any currency. If anybody here knows Path of Exile, this cost me like probably about 30 chaos to make, and it's probably worth a good 10 times that at least. Usually crafting, especially like something kind of specific that you need, is a huge losing endeavor in this game. But if I were to sell this, I would profit immensely. But I don't want to do that because it's awesome. And it's like perfect for this build. I wish the mana was something else. I actually just straight up used an Exalt and slammed that on there. I thought about using a Conqueror Exalt, but Exalts are so cheap, I figured I would do it. And I slammed mana. I was hoping for elemental damage with attacks. But alas, it was not to be. That or high level, like energy shield or armor or something. But I got mana. Of course I fucking got mana. But at least mana's kind of like a little bit value added. But yeah, now my old belt had a lot more fire resistance, so now I have to fix my fire res. And I'll probably get rid of that ring to do so. That ring's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of improvement to be made on that one, so we'll go with that. Let's see. Path of Exile. Oh yeah. Probably need to get a better jewel too. In fact, let's search this again. Oh yeah, I forgot you can have 6 property jewels. Oh, that's pretty good. Max life. Yeah, I don't really want to pay a lot for this jewel. Is PoE pay to win? Not really, but to play it realistically, you have to buy all of these things. All of those are things you can buy in the cash shop, so like organizationally, it's pretty much impossible to play if you don't pay for at least these 2 things. Like, if you don't have a currency tab and a map tab, you are just shit out of luck. Your life is going to be terrible. But these are all organizational things for like each of the league mechanics. And as you can see, they're like, I'm not really like through a whole lot of in-game yet, but you can see there's not a ton in these tabs. So like you could probably get by without them. These 2 are very useful. But I've sort of like hoarded these things. I don't really need all these gems. I just kind of pick them up in case I want them for a future character, but... Cockroach Princess, what's up, dude? Always new. Everyone's new. It's a brand new day. It's a fresh start. Yet another opportunity to talk about ass play in my extremely professional stream. But yeah, it's not pay to win in the sense that you can't like buy gear that gives you like a competitive advantage, but it's sort of like low level pay to win in that you kind of have to have these things. But pretty much everybody does. You just sort of accept that as a like sort of the cost of the game, but it's a one-time purchase, you know. And I think this is, I would say all of these together probably cost $60 or something like that. And I bought them, you know, as these leagues were released, so like every 3 months. So not really that big of a deal, but dude, the MTX stuff, like the character skins and shit that you can buy, are outrageously expensive. So let's see, like armor. I don't even look at this, but this is $84. Like you just take the 0 off. That's fucking $84 to look that way. I mean, goddamn. Like, yeah, to like deck yourself out in this, it's what, $550, $800, $900. It's $90 to get this full set of armor. Oh no, it's $98 to get this full set of armor. That's nuts. Why would you do that? But hey, I mean, lots of people do it. Like if you stand in town and like see people running around and stuff, tons of people have these things. But hey, I'm even not on that level of rich. How are the kiddos? Well, one of them, the unborn one, is causing some problems at the moment. My wife's really uncomfortable. Fortnite made a business on skins. Yeah, I mean, it seems to work. Like that's basically their model here, because like I said, all this stuff is one-time purchase. You know, you don't have to buy any of this more than once, and it's not all that expensive. So yeah, like clearly they're surviving off people eating these things up, but hey, that ain't me, man, but more power to you if you want to. Okay, what did I need? I need a ring with life regen, lots of life, preferably a ton of fire resist. Okay, we'll put that Abyss Jewel on the back burner because I actually have a pretty good one already. I would talk about all the academic stuff right now, but this is kind of big brain shit. Actually, there's an awesome clip from Asmongold. I'm not a huge Asmongold fan, but this like describes playing Path of Exile in a nutshell. What specialty should you go into? I mean, the answer is obvious, right? Let's see. Why play? Okay, I don't care about that. Let's see if I can find this. Of course, Asmongold has like made reactions. What do I think about neurology? It's a little passive for me, to be honest. Stroke is kind of an exception to that, but for the most part, you're like, wow, you have this really rare, degenerative, and ultimately fatal neuro disorder. Isn't that fascinating? We can't do anything about it, but it's really cool, right? Super cool. that's like kind of how it is. Let's see, maybe I can find it on Reddit. ENT. ENT is pretty cool, man. ENT is a good specialty, in my opinion. Who was texting me? Oh, one of my friends is watching on Facebook. Let's see, sort. New. I saw this recently. This is the only reason that I know about it. 2 months ago. How's the cat? He is fantastic. He's doing well. Murdering shit as always. I don't know where this is. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I just want to go back to this. This is the saltiest frickin' Reddit right now, I swear. Like, the League launched and wasn't, like, great, and everybody freaked the fuck out. Oh, this is actually, this is a very visual, representation of what's going on right now for anybody who has actually played Magic the Gathering. This is what's going on in the game, according to everybody in Reddit. We are in Fallen Empires. When's the mukbang? Oh, dude, I already had it. I just, like, shoved a ton of catfish in my face, and it was freaking delicious. Absolutely awesome. Why doesn't the kidney remove ammonia? That's your liver's job. It's a nitrogenous waste. It's also a small molecule, and it's your kidneys. I mean, I guess it's pretty good at doing that. I think ammonia is like directly nephrotoxic, isn't it? It just like attacks your nephrons. Let's see. Man, I'm wasting a lot of time trying to find this. Hey, Synapse, what's up, dude? How are you? Do I know average gas academic between average private practice pays? Yes, absolutely. That's what we're gonna be, talking about that. Like that, website that I frequently hold up, which, like, OfferedX is, sort of central to this discussion, in fact. Ah, fuck. Okay, well, I tried. You can't say that I didn't try to find it, but basically it's like Asmongold saying, yeah, like, look at all these spreadsheets and charts and random sites and bullshit that you have to read to even play this game. Like, Path of Exile players are a different breed, and that's me. So, yeah. So I'm going to go through this giant-ass rigmarole here to find what I need. It's got to have probably at least 30 fire res. Okay, let's do 20, 25. Life regenerated per second. Sure. Let's see what that brings me. Kidney can remove uric acid, urea, albumin, and creatinine, but not ammonia. Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be, actually, now that you mention. Yeah, it's probably the charge thing. Honestly, it's probably the charge. That's what holds ammonia up most of the time, in fact. Oh, those are expensive. Wow. Why is it so expensive to get the ring that I want? Maybe we'll get rid of this. Change my search terms a little bit. Minimum of one of these. Yeah, you have to have like a master's degree just to be able to use the trade site and search for what you want. Pixel is noob. Nice! Nice, it's been so long. I've missed our pal, Pixel. Let's see. Oh, that's... Let's see, what can I get on rings? This is quite good. 45 fire, 60 mana. What does mine have? 69 mana. Nice. Pixel isn't even real. Dr. Fluffles! Thank you so much for the prime. Oh my god, Pixel is so noob. Wow, Pixel's getting it from all angles tonight. That's rough, man. That is rough. To evasion rating. I don't need any damn evasion rating. Let's see. Oh, these are also expensive. God. God. Why? Maybe I'll just go with this one. Shit. I lose quite a bit of damage with this, probably. But I also don't kneecap myself with terrible fire resist. I love giving it from all angles, and I love taking it from all angles? Well, shit, you guys are just like a match made in heaven, then. I love you, chat. I love everybody here. You guys are amazing. Oh, so good. So good. Properties doubled in a breach. New. Don't care. Hmm. Chaos Risk. Oh, there's Chaos up here. Ooh. Damn. Why is it so hard to find what I want for a really cheap price? All I want is cool shit for no money. Is that too much to ask? Is that really too much to ask? Would I ever want to teach? I do teach. Not in a dedicated fashion. Alright, I'm gonna get this ring and then we're gonna start talking. We're gonna start talking real talk here. Do I want this one? That's the question. Yeah, sure. Whatever. It'll fill the gap while I I taught you during your away with me. Oh, that's interesting. Like in a med school? Not really, to be honest. You should did CRNA so you can be rich and work 40 hours a week. That's totally true. Dude, these days, it's freaking crazy how much CRNAs get paid. It is absolutely batshit. Wow, that's a very friendly trade message. Alright, let's fix this up with some life on here. Let's fix this up with some life on. Let's fucking fix this up with life. God damn it. I ran out of alchemy orbs. That's the 41 is the lowest roll. It can go up to 54. Fuck. Okay. Let's see. What should I sell this for? 93 mana. Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna throw this up for 2 divines and see if anybody gives it to me. I don't think that will happen, but that's okay. I love getting pimped because you're a gunner and watch Hours of House. That's perfect, but to really score well, you have to watch Grey's Anatomy and then nail your Preceptor. That's the true secret to acing your clinicals. But you gotta do it right, though. You gotta lay the pipe the proper way, or else then you're fucked, man. You're done. You are cooked. Okay. We'll put those up for... I don't know why I bought those. I don't want that. Only reason you went into medicines to bang your preceptors. Nice. You're on Amazon right now? What you should buy, huh? What should you buy? I don't know. Alright, let's do this terrible map. So you should probably buy 10 subs, yeah, on Amazon. That's a great idea. You guys who are in loads of student debt should totally give me money. 100%. Give me money. Me with an awesome job and you guys with a shitload of work and debt. That makes sense. Okay, so private practice versus academics. What do we know about these things? So, you're debt maxing, dude. I took the debt max trajectory, and I assure you it is not very fun. You get to savor that experience for a very long time. Like, for me, it'll probably be about 13 years or so total paying on debt. Mrs. Dr. Preceptor uses strap-on, says you did really well, still gives you 3 out of 5. Oh, man. Bummer. Maybe you didn't allow a big enough strap-on. Gotta work on that. That's a real problem, man. I can pay off my debt, I just choose not to. Yeah, I could. I mean, it's just not smart for me to pay off my debt, really. Because my debt's at such a low rate that I can realistically make more on the market. Unless, of course, the market shits the bed like it has so far this year. Also, Biden will forgive another 100K. We can only hope. We can only hope that will happen. I missed a few comments here. Settle with debt collectors for 20% a few decades down the road. Yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, you have, like, within medicine, so you've got 2 pretty different paths that you can take in terms of employment. So for those of you who are unaware, it's academic practice, which is basically like in giant hospitals, teaching residents and med students and stuff like that. And private practice, which is, you know, out in the community doing whatever at various sizes of hospitals. So sometimes there are private practices at those giant, you know, centralized institutions. Sometimes, you know, there are satellite community hospitals from big institutions that are also teaching, teaching places. So it's not universal. Like those distinctions are not set in stone. But for the purposes of this discussion, probably good enough to what the flying fuck was that? What even killed me? Okay. The 10K is allowing 51-year-old couple to save for their first home. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like, what? What are you guys talking about? Who gets $10,000 and is like excited to buy a house? Like, what kind of fucking house are you gonna buy with $10,000? Like, as a down payment or whatever. Thank goodness our student debt is gone. Now we can afford a home. Okay. But yeah, so you have academic versus private practice, and there's ups and downs to both. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to watch the rest of the stream, in my opinion, the ups for private practice, like, overwhelmingly outweigh the pros for academics. Like, I think it's almost like a no-brainer for most people to do private practice. But that said, academia does offer a lot of the jobs, like a significant portion of the jobs. So it's something that you kind of have to consider doing, just because it's possible that you may not be able to find the job that you want in your area. So supply and demand plays a role in this as well. Yeah, and you don't get as much clout in private practice because nobody gives a fuck. Everybody shows up to, like, do their job and go home. Which is, in my opinion, one reason that it is way better. Because you're just there to, like, take care of people and leave. Sucking at melee gyms, that doesn't seem like very good. Alright, let's do this. Harbingers? Yeah, sure. Three. Let's get some more Undying in there, I guess. What about having residents do everything for you? Yeah, so that's... that is something to consider for sure. What do I think about physiatry? I think it's pretty good. It's pretty chill lifestyle for sure, because most of your patients are like super long term, and you know, you see them over and over and over and like watch them improve and stuff. So that's kind of cool. Like if I were to do something that was like longitudinal care based, you know, like primary care or something, that's what I would choose. And it's a little more hands-on than being a PCP is, rather than just like slinging meds and telling somebody to take them, you know. So yeah, I think PM&R is really cool. Pretty nice lifestyle. Good way to go. But yeah, in academics, you do have the benefit of having bitches. You have professional, highly educated bitches. Oh, I get to sell something. Those being residents, and sometimes med students if they're good. What is that? Ah, yes. I'm surprised that didn't sell earlier. What dosage of melatonin is fine or good? I think... I forget the dosage of melatonin off the top of my head. I think 3 milligrams is the start. The effective dose is really low. Yeah, I am extremely skeptical of sleep meds in general. Like, if you want to use it as a one-time thing, go for it, but they're all, like, massively habit-forming and super bad for you, because they will totally wreck your sleep if you use them regularly. Academics get bitches, private practice make money. Exactly, that is exactly what I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, so in academics, generally, okay, I think this is probably a generally true statement. Overall, in academics, the pace is much slower and the lifestyle is probably better. That is really far from universally true, though. Because in private practice, you can kind of choose whatever lifestyle you want. It just comes at a price, like a literal price. Like, you make less money if you want a better lifestyle. So, like, for instance, in anesthesia, I could go work at a surgery center and work, you know, no nights, no weekends, no call, no holidays, but I would make 60, you know, like 60 to 70% of what I do now. I would take a huge pay cut. But, you know, at the same time, you're also working, you know, probably 35 to 45 hour weeks with you know, no emergency call. Like, if anything terrible happens, you just say, hey, send him to the hospital. Not my problem. And life is good. So that's a nice place to be. And on the other end, there are practices where, like, if you just want to, like, sell your freaking soul to the almighty dollar, you can do so. Like, extremely busy surgery centers, private, like, endoscopy centers and stuff are good examples of that. Like, you can work 70-hour weeks and you'll make $800,000 as an anesthesiologist. Like, you can do it. You can totally do it. A map currency item, huh? Extra chaos damage. Sure, what do we got? You stay up till 4 a.m. because you're training for private practice lifestyle. Oh, don't worry, residency will take care of that for you. They will make sure that you are very familiar with that practice. Yeah, if you're trying to fix your sleep schedule because you stayed up late last night, maybe you should just go to sleep. Like, don't take anything for it, just go to sleep, dude. Ow. What the fuck? Oh, you know what? I never turned my auras back on. That's the problem. Holy shit, I'm an idiot. Don't buy the 10 milligram melatonin? I wouldn't. I never recommend taking sleep meds to anybody. Like, basically, unless you're taking, like, a transatlantic trip or something, and you want to, like, get rid of the jet lag ASAP, I would not do that. Well, if it's an ongoing thing, then what you, sir, need is some discipline. Regulate your sleep schedule. Because that's the real solution. I mean, maybe for tonight it's not a terrible idea, but... Never been a long-term study on melatonin. Ah, shit, that's what I get for... Wouldn't I get bored in a surgery center and atrophy your skills? Yes. That would absolutely happen. Yeah, one of the guys that I knew, he was 2 years ahead of me in residency, actually went to such an endoscopy center. Like, all he did was healthy GI patients all day long. And, like, he made an ungodly amount of money. Holy shit. Wow, I just lost a ton of experience. Dying a whole bunch. But he made a ton of money in Phoenix and was just like, I freaking hate this. I can't handle it. And so he did that for like a couple years and made a bunch of cash and then quit and did something else. Good for him. But yeah, so it's much more variable. Your lifestyle is variable and you have more control over it in private practice. Like my personal lifestyle, I'm tracking my hours currently. Jesus. Tracking my hours and I'm at like for the last month and a half or so when we've been sort of covering for my partner who had surgery, it's been in like low 50s, but usually it's like upper 40s. And that includes our call, and we take quite a bit of call. So that's another thing. What is discipline? It's where you do whatever the fuck you want at any time. That's what discipline is. How much can you... Oh yeah, you did ask that earlier. I will show you in just a second as soon as I'm done getting my booty pounded. Glycine is awesome for sleep, huh? Okay, fair enough. I don't know anything about glycine for sleep. So how much... If you work super hardcore in a really busy place for anesthesia, here in the Midwest, like realistically you can make like 700 grand. Like I said, I knew a friend who, he went to Phoenix, and he made about 8. So yeah. You make a lot of money. On your way to the Midwest. Yeah, the Midwest is a great place to be for medicine, dude. Cost of living is very low, and the salaries are high. Oh yeah, I forgot this is like fucking brutal map. And my resistances are lowered. Yeah, that's why I keep getting my ass handed to me. Got it. You'll join my practice? Come on, man. We're hiring somebody right now. That kind of money would corrupt you? No, it wouldn't. You'd be surprised how lifestyle creep kind of fills that shit up. It's nuts. Yeah, so I'll get back to the academics chart thing, the salary. Oh god. Alright, note to self, don't ever do minus resistance maps again. This is terrible. Oh, and I just like bricked the map, great. Okay. That was a huge waste of my effort. Right, so let's go to this site. So you will notice that the difference is rather large between, like, so here's anesthesia, and I believe that's probably a little low. This might be overall. As I've said before when we talk about this, I feel like these numbers are like maybe 5% low nationally. I don't know, maybe they're not though. Maybe all the like highly populated places like Chicago and Atlanta that don't pay for shit sort of bring this down. This is MGMA. MGMA's right here. This is from 2020? Yeah. Yeah, if you have MGMA, post it up, man. Yeah, academics gets bitches, man. They're residents. Oh, you have regional splits and medians? Sweet, dude. Yeah, link it up, man. The medical term is residents, absolutely. But yeah, so the academic salary is a solid 15% lower. Basically across the board, at least, right? And in some cases more. Like for procedure-oriented specialties where you can, like, you really eat what you kill, it's gonna be more. So, like, if you're super driven and you want to do a ton of, like, ortho spine or something, you can clear 7 figures, no problem. You can pop that hurdle without an issue. But, as you can see here, well, I guess they don't have a spine listing, but, like, general ortho in the community makes way more than 580 grand, I promise you that. But yeah, so you take a like you would in private practice, you take a fairly substantial hit for the general quality of life afforded to you by having everybody else do your work. Let's see, I think I got... Nope. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Oh. There we are. Oh, that's super legible. MGMA data, courtesy of random chatter. Can you guys even see this? There we go. Alright, anesthesia in the East, Midwest. Here we go. So mean is 490. Median's 490. So the Kansas City area is it's above that, I'll tell you that. How would you break 7 figs in Durham without making a skincare collection? Oh, just do procedures, dude. Have your own practice and do like aesthetics. That's where it's at. Let's see what they say Durham is. Durham here is 500. Yeah, I honestly like. So I think this makes more sense. So like the top end is making a shitload, right? They're making a ton of money. And the Mohs surgeons, yeah, Mohs is where it's at. Yeah, if you do Mohs surgery, you're set, man. I don't know why that's so expensive, but it certainly is. Yeah, you make a Botox and filler mill and procedure mill, and you do Mohs surgery, and then you make an insane amount of money. Yeah, so the GI docs jumps up real high for the good ones who are fast and efficient. So, yeah, does it Let's see, this is just regions, and yeah, it doesn't mix academics. I mean, it probably does mix academics in here. Could you do it in South Carolina, North Carolina? Yes, absolutely, for sure. Am I into driving sports cars, or do I pour my money into Warhammer? Warhammer is my crutch, man. I'm not much of a car guy, honestly. I want something that's, like, comfortable and cool enough, but mostly after efficiency. I drive a, like, 5-year-old Accord. It's nothing fancy. Yeah, you were close. Very close. Acura's a good guess. But yeah, it's kind of like a tricked out Accord, I guess. So it's pretty close to an Acura. More or less the same thing. 10-year-old Toyota. Well, that'll all change, right? That'll all change. If you wanted to. Yeah, I just don't... I live in a city, dude. I really don't have any need for, like, a high-performance car. Speedrun anesthesia residency. Nice. Way to go, man. Yeah, keep it single if you want to do that. Keep it single. Your money finds ways of disappearing if you don't. So yeah, these numbers make a lot of sense to me. Yeah, this all seems quite reasonable. Not falling for the 50% tax trap. Yeah. Might be more than 50%, in fact. So yeah, anyway, my original point is you pay a lot of money for the convenience of not necessarily having to, like, oh, that's ugly, like, be on it all the time. But the residence thing, like, covering learners definitely is a double-edged sword, because every year you get a new crop of people who have absolutely no fucking idea what they're doing. You getting a new car when I give you a down payment for a Beamer? Nah. Nah. Good try, though. It's a good thought. Let's see. 7 Chaos for a tier 14 that I haven't done. Sure. Why not? Let's do it. They're all 300k. Everyone's freaked out about ER's future. And now everyone says it was an overreaction. Yeah, of course it's an overreaction. It's always a fucking overreaction. It's really not that big of a deal. Like, just don't be stupid and get a job where that, like, the... Damn it. Let's see. Reflect Fizz. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, just don't get a job where the corporate overlords are going to be up your ass constantly and it won't be a problem. I don't know why that's so hard. Is 5k too much for a car? No, it's totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. Get 2. Why not? Get 2 while you're at it. Oh, I did it again. But yeah, it's really nice when you're working with residents who are competent and know what's going on. It is not nice when you're working with residents, and a lot of these places have, like, nurse anesthetists and things like that. And I guess I shouldn't necessarily just talk about anesthesia, but they have nurse practitioners, like mid-levels and stuff, who are training. And, you know, if you have somebody working with you who is not good, it's a huge pain in your ass, because you are technically liable for that person. So... yeah, that's a problem. It's a big problem. And every year it happens, right? You reset that every single year. Like, you never get in a situation like I have. Like, we've got a fair amount of turnover, because, like, COVID created a whole bunch of really high-paying locums positions, like, where you can fill in, like, temp work and stuff. So we had a few people leave for those, you know, basically just, like, cashing in on the fact that there's so much extra work to be done, and lots of people retired. because of COVID, because they were just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And so like there's a huge you know, shortage of providers basically. So 40% movement speed, huh? Let's do that. So yeah, anyway, we had some turnover because of that, but overall, like, I work with the same, like, really good, competent people that I was, you know, that were there when I started working, and it's awesome. It's really, really nice, but that doesn't happen in academics. Like, your you know, the fellow physicians will be similar, but all of the people, like, the people you're seeing patients with and, like, on your team are going to change constantly. And in fact, will change every month, right? As rotations change for a lot of specialties. And that sounds awful. That sounds really bad. Sewer lurkers? I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna kill him. Fuck NPs. That is not what I said. That is not what I said. I said fuck bad NPs. And fuck bad residents, for that matter. I was all inclusive with that statement. Because there definitely are plenty of those, especially in July and August-ish. And that in itself is pretty much enough to keep me out of academics permanently. Like, so I do teach. We have anesthesia assistant students, and it's fun. Like, I enjoy it. I do enjoy teaching, but it's really nice to be able to do it when I feel like it and when I have time. You know, it's like at my leisure, basically. More attack and cast speed? It's pretty cool. Pandering to my editor's practitioner audience. God damn it, I can't win. So yeah, I don't like that. I do like teaching, but I don't like having it forced on me. And speaking of which, most academic jobs require you to do like some sort of research, or, you know, lectures or presentations, or, you know, some other like extracurricular stuff that you're essentially unreimbursed for. And there's a lot of politics involved in all of that. It's tough to sort of judge what your income is going to be. Like, for me, it's just straight up like, we have a base salary and then we profit share, you know, whatever's left over. And easy, you know, there's like no muss, no fuss. You know, there's no like seniority to it. It's just everybody splits shit evenly and life is good. And like, some of us get paid additional money for like doing specific things. Like, one of the guys, like the guy that does all our administrative stuff, he gets paid more. I get paid some amount to do our schedule. I honestly forgot how much it is. There's only one guy in my group who's fellowship trained, and he's fellowship trained in hearts, and he gets paid more for doing the hearts all the time, even though I do probably about a third of them. So, but other than that, it's like, it's straight up, and it's very well, you know, spelled out, whereas in academics, you just have somebody who, you know, kind of gets their choice of vacation and makes more money just because, right? They've just been there for a long time, and, you know, regardless of the fact that you guys do the same job, like, shit's gonna roll downhill a little bit, and sucks to be you. How much more for hearts considering fellowships? It's not that much. So hearts for anesthesia is, the utility is more in making yourself more marketable rather than actually making more money. You probably will make more money, but it's not a lot more. I would say at most you can expect like a 5% raise or something, which is, you know, meaningful, but that's not a reason to do it. It's mostly just making yourself more desirable in the marketplace. You need to die, meat tongue. Meat tongue. It's not that kind of stream, sir. Is the market on fire? Yes, it is. Yeah, anesthesia market is absolutely batshit crazy for the reasons that I just mentioned earlier. Everybody retired or quit during COVID. And so now there's like this like huge relocation of people, like reorganization based on pay. I mean, like the anesthetist pay at our place has gone up like 20% in the past 2 years. Almost 20% in 2 years. It's freaking nuts. And that's just to like keep pace. That's not because we're like super benevolent overlords or anything. We're just like paying the market rate. Actually, I think we do have, I say that, but I think we have the highest paying job, base salary, at least in the metro area at the moment. That's a pretty good job. We have not afraid to say that. We offer a very good, I was gonna say we offer a very good package, but fine, I'll just go with it. We have a great package. Yep. Okay, I said it. Moving on. Anyway, yeah. So, that is a big problem with academics, right? Like the shit rolls downhill thing. You're never really gonna be a partner unless you are one of the old guard. Like I know, one of the guys that I did residency with, and I know this was kind of the case universally, but he's really the only one that said anything, you know, openly about it, to me, at least. He said that he worked more as an early staff, like when he got a job at the place I did residency, he worked more as staff than he did as a resident, just because he just got a shitty schedule, and all the old guys went home, and he got to pick up the slack, so... Please don't ruin it by the time you get here. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think we'll be good. Anesthesia's not going anywhere in particular. But yeah, so... but the reverse is true, like, you know, yeah, you kind of suffer at every July and August when new residents start, but... You know, by the end of the year, it's pretty much cruise control, right? Because, like, everybody on your staff is going to know what's going on. Unless you have bad resident, then that sucks. But, like, it's really nice to just have all your shit taken care of, and you're basically just kind of, like, rubber stamping stuff throughout the day. The pace is slower, you know, it's usually all, like, salary-based and academics, so you make what you make and whatever works. You know, this, in terms of patient throughput, that's fine. So, like, there's a lot less production pressure and a lot less stress in that regard. So, like, the pendulum swings, and, you know, but I personally prefer the model where you know who you're working with. Like, you build chemistry with these people and have a relationship, and, you know who's good at what their strengths are, and all that sort of thing. And that's super important to me, at least, especially in anesthesia, where you're, like, dealing with people's lives all the time, and, like, you know who to trust, you know, in the complex cases and things like that, and who you're going to need to keep more of an eye on. Whereas I feel like with residents, you never really know. Like, you kind of get to know these people, like, for a little bit, but they're gone in 3 years, right? I've already been where I work for 6, and I think, with the exception of the people we just hired, everybody's been there for at least 2. So we've got a pretty solid crew. But yeah, I prefer the pay. And one big drawback, as I was sort of alluding to earlier, with private practice is generally the groups are smaller, and therefore you take more call, because there's just, you know, not as many people to handle the different days. So, like, there are 7 people in my group who take call, which means that on average, overall, we're on call once every 7 days, obviously. But because we have a ton of vacation built into that, what that actually means is that it's more like we're on call every, like, 4-ish days that we're actually working. So, like, more or less twice a week on the weeks that we work. Which is a lot. It's a ton to do 24-hour shifts, right? Like, usually the 24-hour shifts are pretty calm. you know, we typically get called like once or twice during the night. But if you have shifts like I had this past week where you're just up all night, then that sucks. Like you don't get the recharge that you really need on the following day. Like, you know, yeah, you're off that day, but you're using it recovering basically. And I'm getting fucking old, so I can't do that quite as well as I used to. You kind of want to do gas, it's a great field, man. It is, but it is very swingy. It's unpredictable. Sometimes you get rocked. You gotta just be ready for that. But yeah, that's true for anything, and especially if you're in like a very kind of elite, like specialized field. If you're like a neurosurgeon or a CT surgeon or something, like we just hired a new CT surgeon who is fresh out of fellowship, but for 2 years we had one CT surgeon, so he was literally always on call. And if he wanted to take a vacation, he had to like arrange his own call coverage. So he like, which he did a couple times, but I mean that's a huge burden. But you know, if you're at a big academic center, there's, you know, probably 8 CT surgeons or more even, and so you don't have to worry about that, which is nice. Like that's a huge benefit. Well, here, let's look at where I did residency. So I said there are 8 people in my group right now, 7 of whom take call. You're already getting rocked. Oh, the rocking will continue and intensify, sir. The rocking will continue until until morale improves. So they have 77 faculty, right? So this is literally 9 times the size of my group. Over 9 times the size of my group. So there's a shit ton of people to cover call. So they have 2 faculty on call, or well, assuming things work the way they did when I left, they have 2 faculty on call overnight. So that means that you're on call like, what, once every month and a half or something? You know, like your call is very infrequent. But you also get murdered every time you're on call. You're up all night. You don't necessarily have to do anything, but you're getting called by your residents who are like, hey, we have to go do this epidural. And yes, you can shadow me anytime. You just have to figure out a way to get here and somewhere to stay. And all of that. Yeah. Heartbound loop, eh? Let's put you there. Sure. Oh, that's actually kind of valuable. I'm glad I held on to that. So the other thing that drives me absolutely nuts about academics is the pace. Like, it is so much slower, but the problem is you have no control over it. You can't really, like, push to get things done faster, because... So there's this saying that goes, those who can't do, teach, that generally speaking I entirely disagree with. But it actually sort of does hold true in medicine sometimes. Sometimes you have people in academics who are... You'll arrange that? You try to go to KCUMB? Nice. Nice. Do it. Bring it on, man. I'm here for it. Oh yeah, this is the terrible map. Alright, let's do a Keurig mission. Keep this ball rolling. But yeah, it drives me nuts that, like, nobody gives a fuck. So... Oh, you're at a different school? No! No. Opportunity lost. Unidentified and corrupted. Okay. Nope. Let's see what happens. Complete the ritual. Shit. You sleep in one of the call rooms. You sleep in the hallway. I hear there's plenty of hall space available. Oh, so interesting story. My sleep IV room live. Absolutely. Oh, it's a reflect map. Son of a bitch. It's terrible. Okay. So I, as many of you know, I have sleep apnea. So I had, like, I bring my CPAP every time because I'm a good little boy and I do what I'm supposed to do medically. So the sleep room that I usually sleep in, which is amazing, it's right at OB, and like 90+% of the time when we get called, it's OB. So it's nice to be able to just like walk down the hall and take care of whatever bullshit they have to offer. So they, for some reason the power was out, so I couldn't use it. And I went to the like general physician sleep rooms. Like the one that I use is just for like OB. A thumbnail with my CPAP like Nikocado does? I suppose I could. Actually, that's not a bad idea, right? I should probably make a video about sleep apnea since it's such a big deal. Speaking of which, I'm planning on getting back into that, like the YouTube thing. Life kind of came at me and that just was not a priority for a while, but I think I'll actually be able to do that. You know, get back into it. Yeah, that's fine. So anyway, needed power and went to the general physician sleep rooms, which, as it turns out, is basically just an abandoned ward on the second floor. And, like, it is the weirdest freaking thing, like, going in to a totally empty hospital floor. Like, there's literally nobody there. At all. No patients, no staff. Like, nobody uses it, and it's quiet. Like, all you can hear is the air handlers. It's so weird. It is the creepiest shit I've ever done. Gloom strap. Hilarious. It was amazing. It would have been way more amazing if the physician sleep rooms weren't, like, they're literally just patient rooms that have nothing in them. So, like, the bed that they give you is like an unmade hospital bed. So, like, for those of you who don't know, hospital beds are, like, ultra plastic waterproof. It's like sleeping on frickin' saran wrap. It's terrible. And because it's uninhabited, there's no, like, blanket cart or anything. I had to, like, walk across the hospital to get my own stuff, like my own bedding, just to put on it and go to sleep. What do I have to do? Yeah, what the fuck were we talking about? I have no idea. I got sidetracked on that. Oh, yeah, we're talking about nobody giving a shit in the OR. So, the problem with academic centers is they're so... I mean, well, there are many problems, but they're so busy that no matter what you do, there's, like, the more efficient you are with your work, the more work you have to do. So, like, if you're on internal medicine and you're super efficient, you take really good care of your patients, and you discharge them all, you know, you're like, you're doing great, go home. Guess what? Your team fills back up with new admissions. Because those patients have to go somewhere, and then you get to admit, you know, 8 new patients or whatever it is, you know, however many you discharged. Similarly with the operating room, like, if your room works really efficiently and you finish all your cases, the surgeon's fast, the turnover's really good, and you're done, you get a bunch of shit moved into your room, you get to do more work. And so what happens is people sandbag. Like, they just lollygag, and turnovers are an hour, and, you know, patients sit in the hospital for, like, a couple extra days just kind of because. And, like, it sucks. But that's, like, you know, or you end up, like, at the end of the day and have to do, like, all your discharge stuff. So like, there's a time, you know, you're hoping that the patients don't, you know, make their way back to your service on your watch, basically, so you don't have to do all the work. And you know, you'll find that people, like, it just breeds laziness hardcore, because everybody's like constantly trying to figure out how to not do more work. Whereas private practice, like, if all your shit's done, you go home, or you at least, like, at the very least, you stop working. You get to go dick around for a while. That is not the case when there's, you know, hundreds of patients, you know, constantly getting rearranged. Do anesthesiologists get paid more than general surgeons? Yes, generally speaking. So let's look at that MGMA data that we had. Where was that? There it is. Maybe it's under surgery. Wait, I think I'm getting... No. Thought I heard myself getting fucked over. Oh, I don't want that. Let's see. Surgery. General. Yep. So, yeah, 75th percentile was what, 600,000? And for anesthesia, it's... Yeah, roughly the same. Pretty similar. Being the surgeon, your anesthesiologist getting paid more. Yeah, I mean, but it depends. Depends on what you do. Yeah, so here's this for clarity. I think this is 50th percentile here, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, I think this is 50th. Sorry. 50th, 75th, and 90th. So yeah, it's right in there, right? They're pretty similar. And so the reason that these the top numbers go up so high in procedural specialties is like these are the people who are really getting after it. You know, like this is probably like somebody in a bariatric. This is probably somebody in like bariatric centers doing tons of gallbladders and like lap band surgeries and all sorts of shit all day long, right? They're just like cranking cases out. And I think I would wager that you will see that in pretty much any surgical specialty. Like, yeah, pediatric surgery is really lucrative because you do tons of appendectomies and hernia repairs and stuff like that. So, yeah, so the upper bounds of, basically of surgeons is going to be huge, really high. Yeah, gen surge makes a lot of money. I think more typical is probably like 400, 4 to 450. At least in this area. Yeah, I think 400 is a more reasonable. Working in academics is like working in a DMV, kinda. Yeah. Like the sloth from Zootopia. That's what I think of whenever I think of the DMV now. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, watch Zootopia right now. It's totally worth it just for that scene. Do neuro and have an easy clinic job? I mean, like, I get it, dude. Neuro's actually pretty cool. Like, I think neuro's neat, but again, you can't, like, a lot of times you can't really help people. You're just like, oh, it sucks that you have really advanced MS. Sorry. Sorry, man. Yeah, physical exam heavy too, for sure. I guess I don't really want to be here anymore, do I? Yeah, so that about academics makes me insane, because my whole MO is like get my shit done ASAP and then dick around as much as possible. And anesthesia is perfect for that. That is absolutely an ideal job for that mindset. dick around, like do nothing, screw around, sit around and make our schedule, make Path of Exile characters, read about computer parts. You're jaded on helping people? Yeah. Well, how am I able to do that? I triage well, and I prioritize well, and I work very efficiently. That's how I'm able to do that. It's usually only in, like, 10-minute gaps. But, like, I will do everything that I can to, like, go check on a room, see new pre-op patients, get somebody to sleep, like, do a bunch of stuff at once in bursts, and then go sit back down. Like, I'll hardly ever, unless there's, like, only one thing going on, I will hardly ever get up to do only one thing. Because otherwise I'd just be running around constantly all day. I'm pretty well running around constantly anyway. Help yourself before helping others. Amen. I agree. I agree with that. But yeah, it's all about efficient work. Okay, which of these have I not done? Oh, I haven't done that. Lovely.
Stay vigilant.
Gotta scour that bitch. Oh, I don't have any alk orbs. Fuck. Okay. Let's buy some alks. Wow, the Alcorb is... Shit, they're really cheap. Would not have thought that. But... yeah, we'll do that. Why not? Ask about my aura bots. Okay. Busy day at Massive Pleural Effusion? Oh shit. Oh yeah, that was the picture you posted up, huh? Stimmy and sepsis at 105. That is a lot of fever. Damn, son. Anesthesia doesn't seem conducive to getting jacked. Au contraire, sir. Have you seen me? Shit. I get pretty good sleep, honestly. Like I said, I sleep through most of my calls, so... Or I should rephrase that. I sleep well through most of my calls, like adequately. Is it a Hakuna Matata shirt? It's a Kansas City Chiefs shirt, dude. Ah! Yeah, but the problem is you always have the chance to just get plundered overnight, Like, even though I haven't done just like a regular OR case in the middle of the night for months. But it happens. Sorry, dude. Why isn't Milkman answering his pages? I actually did that the other night. I felt really bad. I forgot my pager in our office. But, like, everybody generally knows that I'm in-house, and they either call my cell phone or my in-house phone. And so it's kind of easy for me to forget. But, what the fuck? Get out of here. There we go. But yeah, there was the ICU actually called me to, replace somebody's trach. And I was like... Nope. Not gonna do that. No shot. Cool. I'll take that. How long are you supposed to wear this corset? Years, dude. That is a work in progress. You gotta wear that bitch for a long time to get the hourglass thing going on. But I am not exactly a corset expert. I'll be upfront with you. Perhaps Dr. Google has some more useful information on that. Glockenflecken's anesthesia TikTok's accurate? 100%. Absolutely spot on. Yes, they are. Google's not a doctor, but they went to an extra year of Google theory. Doesn't that count? Doesn't that make them a doctor? I don't know, I thought it did. So yeah, for me the combo of booters ask you about ivermectin. I know, God. I'm not very shy about being like, yeah, that doesn't do anything except for make you sick. Unless you have worms. If you have worms, it does a lot. That's very helpful. But, you know, if you're trying to treat COVID with it, then, you know, it doesn't do anything. But that's okay. Packs of cannibals. Sure. Oh yeah, another thing that I sort of kind of brushed past is Google DC. Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. Google Doctor of Chiropractic. It's basically an equivalent degree. Yeah, so one thing that draws some people to academic medicine is the fact that patients are super sick. Like, they have the most complex, you know, sickest patients having the biggest, most novel surgeries. And a lot of people like that. Like, they enjoy that intensity and that, like, you know, brain game kind of thing. And, you know, there's huge level things going on, like solid organ transplants and, you know, these giant, like, cancer chop shop sort of operations where, like, people are going to lose liters of blood and they're super, super sick and you've got to maintain them. And they also see, like, all the weird zebra crap that happens. Like, we had a little kid who had a, so I don't know if you guys know what an AVM is. It's an arterial venous malformation. So, like, normally, you know, your blood vessels get, like, smaller, like, your arteries get smaller and smaller until they get to, like, capillaries, and then the capillaries join venous capillaries, and those get bigger and bigger. Well, an AVM is where, like, that doesn't happen. There's, like, all different sizes of blood vessels that just kind of, like, join with each other randomly. It's like a developmental, you know, error, basically. We had a kid who had that in his vein of Galen, which is like this gigantic vein in your brain. And we had to do like all these crazy ass surgeries on this kid. And every time we were like, well, he's going to lose like 10 liters of blood today. That's great. And of course it's like, you know, some 5-year-old kid or something. And you feel terrible, like if anything bad happens to him. But yeah, a lot of people get off on that. You know, they like the medical crowd is sort of the masochistic type who just like wants to like self-ego feed all the time. And you're like, I did the most complicated brain case in this young kid. And like nobody really gives a fuck. Like that's purely for them and like, you know, the peer circle jerk in academic medicine. You know, where it's just like dick measuring contest amongst other people who do similarly complicated crap. But like anybody in, you know, even in, like you guys probably are just like, oh, well, I mean, that sounds cool. You know, like it doesn't really sound any different than like normal neurosurgery. So, yeah, I don't get off on that. You can tell I'm really in touch with my feminine side based on my corset knowledge. Yeah, it's something I really need to bone up on. Ah. Euglycemic DKA? What? How does that even happen? Anesthesia resistant baby. Most babies are pretty anesthesia resistant, actually. They take a huge amount of anesthesia to get down. Ow. Oh, I can open it again. Nice. Never seen that before. Diabetic doing a keto diet. Interesting. Baby resisted 3 doses of rock and atominate. Wow. That's a tank, baby. Holy shit. That is hardcore. I wonder how that would happen. I wonder why that is. I mean, you know, definitely those paralytics and stuff are, you know, sort of duration is variable, but... wonder if there's like a specific, like, genetic thing at play there. No Neo or Sugaminex. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. So I wonder, so this happens, but it's very rare. I wonder if you had faulty rock, or faulty drugs. So in Kansas City, I think it was actually a Midwestern thing, like most of the Midwest, we had a, like basically an entirely bad, like, batch or shipment or whatever you want to call it of bupivacaine, specifically spinal bupivacaine. So like anybody who was going to have a spinal for a procedure didn't get a spinal. Like we had some real issues with that in OB, and actually one of my partners had his hip replaced during that period, and his spinal failed too. But fortunately, they had like the surgery center where he had, you know, had his surgery was like they were kind of aware of the problem and put an epidural in as well, so they dosed up his epidural, and he didn't have to go to sleep. But yeah, that happens. OB got sedation with propofol? Yeah. Makes sense. Increased effective cold ailments. That seems pretty decent. I'll just say 10C and see if anybody bites.
Hello. Celerin.
I must have time to gather my will. Hey.
Hey! Okay, done all that shit. Peninsula. Why, yes, I will take your peninsula down.
The job never ends.
Ah. Enfeeble. I think I can handle that. Let's do it. Okay. Rock on. You really have a thing for American guys? Okay. Fair enough. Noted. Aren't you supposed to like dudes with accents, though? Isn't that how that works? So what if they're like foreign born and they're just like American like citizens. Is that like best case scenario? You tell me. I don't know, man. That's how the movies always work, right? And everybody knows that the movies are basically reality, so. Having a thing for American guys means you have a thing for dad bods and Crocs. Hot. I totally get it. That's fantastic. Yeah, I do love some good obesity. It turns me on too. Ouch. Get out of there. Hey, 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 where you going? Aw, son of a bitch. Alright, Giannis, you get to, go to jail. Yeah, that's right. Spectral spirits. Alright. I mean, I'm cultivating a pretty mean dad bod. I'm working on it. I'm doing it the American way. You don't have to tell us. Hey, I'm glad you appreciate. Thanks for letting me down easy, dude. I appreciate it. Oh, God. It cuts deep to the core. A skinny king. I don't know about that, man. Let's be real here. Oh, God. Why are they hurting me so bad? There we go. Only worry of anesthesia that you'll wonder if you get bored from doing similar procedures. Well, yeah, you do a lot of bread and butter stuff, but I mean, bread and butter things are called bread and butter for a reason. If you're, a surgeon or something, you do the same procedures over and over. That's just kind of how it is, right? Like, if you're a general surgeon, you do hernias and gallbladders and like colon resections and stuff like that constantly. If you're an orthopod, you do shoulders or hips or knees or ankles or whatever, your chosen thing is, or hands. So, I mean, regardless of what specialty you go into, you're going to have like the shit that you take care of more often than not. And honestly, anesthesia is like, it is very cookbooky for the most part, which is how you like sort of breed this class of providers who are like, yeah, everything's totally easy. We're basically equivalently qualified, which most of the time is true, but also most of the time you could train somebody off the street in 2 weeks to do anesthesia on healthy people. It's that like 1% of the time where fucking everything goes sideways that you want somebody highly trained in there for you. Oh, hey, man. But yeah, I get it. Like, there's definitely a lot of, sort of mundane nature to just, like, pushing propofol and putting a tube in somebody all the time. But it's... You weren't serious when you said what? I don't have to tell you? You weren't serious when you said that I don't have to tell you. I don't know what you mean. I missed it. So don't feel bad, because I have no idea what you're talking about. So you got away with one. That I'm getting a dad bod? Oh no, I totally am, dude. I totally am. It happens. It happens. I'm combating it the best I can, but it's really all my fault, so I don't have anybody to blame but myself. I do eat those American portions pretty often. But yeah, so one thing that is very nice about anesthesia, well, it's, again, a double-edged sword, is that you're sort of a Swiss Army knife, and people call you for everything. So, like, anytime there's some, like, serious badness going down in the hospital, and, like, nobody else is really equipped to handle it, they're like, anesthesia, please help me, oh, fuck! And, yeah, so that's kind of cool. It keeps things fresh. Like, especially as staff, you're not in the rooms most of the time. I mean, assuming you're in a care team model kind of place, you're not in the procedures yourself. So you're managing mostly, and also running around the hospital, like, putting out fires. So it keeps things pretty varied. I wouldn't worry too much about burnout on that. I mean, if you don't like it, that's another thing entirely. Like, don't do anesthesia if you don't like anesthesia, but I wouldn't worry about, you know, feeling like you're in a rut. Anesthesiologist is being a firefighter, going into random rooms, fixing mistakes. That's pretty true. Yep, I buy that. Let's see here. Don't know if it's been mentioned, but in academic medicine, required to do fellowship? Don't think that's necessarily true. Like, if you want to do... So if you want to do something for which there is a fellowship, then yes. Like, there's no way that I would be doing heart cases at an academic institution. Whereas I do probably about a third of the ones that come through my hospital. Because they will hire somebody that's fellowship trained for that. But if you're not doing it, if you're just like, you know, internal medicine or just like straight up doing anesthesia, like, that's not necessary. Would I recommend DO students take step 3 in addition to complex? Yeah, I think I would.
Another mouth.
I don't know a whole lot about specific licensing requirements for DOs, but I think you would probably save yourself a lot of hassle by just having step 3 taken care of. On the off chance that there are some states that don't understand that a DO is equivalent to an MD. And I mean, it's from what I gather, pretty much the same subject matter anyway. And then fellowships, like you say, I feel fellowship would be another reason to do it. Would it be possible to do academic med doing just the teaching side and not research? Probably. I mean, you can write anything you want into a contract, but, you know, just be very explicit about what you want to do, and, you know, that might limit your opportunities some. If they do want you to do research. Or it might sort of, they might be, well, that's fine, but you're going to do X amount more teaching instead. But if that's what you're after, then fine. You know, whatever works. So much the better. Good gosh darn, holy shit, thank you for 10 months consecutively, back to 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 back in a row. You are the man. I really appreciate you subbing to my channel so aggressively. That is awesome. And welcome, by the way. DO only needs complex for license in all states. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it sort of sucks to, you know, spend that extra cash for kind of like a minimal benefit. But if you're thinking of doing fellowship, you probably ought to just do it. Hope you're having a good weekend, by the way. Good gosh darn. And all of you. Everybody. Everybody can have a good weekend. Why not? What am I doing here? Oh, I didn't do something with him yet. Whoa, Scratch. Unveil my shit, please. Sure. Boop.
Warm nights.
I don't know why I have that. since there is good information being told to me. Same curriculum, but you have learned bone magic on top of it, yeah. The reason MD-DO residencies merged was because MDs threatened to bar DOs from fellowships if they didn't? Really? It's kind of weird. Wait, so are there still DO-only residencies? Because I've known a few people who did those. Or is that, like, totally a thing of the past?
Salah.
It's fucking crazy if they're just, like, gone. DO-only residencies should have all merged or dissolved. Holy crap, okay. Wow. That's nuts. Man, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that's what was going down. How did I get so many cursed crypt maps? Cali barred a warning of new DO licenses and gave current DOs the option to receive an MD with a fee and weekend classes. That's hilarious. What the fuck kind of weekend class would you take that makes it makes you a doctor all of a sudden? The ones that only took DOs are still basically only taking DOs. Okay. So now instead of like it's basically just like a segregation thing. Great. That seems healthy. And MDs that never take DOs aren't taking them. Okay. Classes undo the bone magic. No, not the bone magic. You need that to cure the bonitis. What will the children with bonitis do? Oh my god. The humanity of it all. I'm gonna hang on to that. Somatic dysfunction. I mean, a lot of the DO residencies were like kind of in like weird places, right? Like I know one of the guys that I worked with who was in a DO residency, it was like out of Kirksville, and they had to contract with all the like a lot of their different okay, let's try that again. They had to like organize rotations with lots of different hospitals, and they traveled a ton, which seems super weird for residency. You learned that you can't do bone magic on children since they're developing? No bone, what? But little Timmy and his bonitis has to suffer forever? That is a true shame. You bone doctors really need to step it up, man. That is too bad. I'm really disappointed. Everything that I know was wrong. Fuck. Terrible. No shit. Look at that. What the fuck is this? AMA House of Delegates officially forbade professional relationships between DOs and MDs. What? Would lead to a system substandard and even harmful. Alright then. Well, the times they are a-changin'. Jesus. Next thing you know, they'll let women vote. God. What is this world coming to? When you told the chiropractor you waited on for years? Not if the Supreme Court has anything to say about it. Yeah, I saw a very, I can't remember what the like meme was, but it's basically like, Amy Coney Barrett walked through all the doors that Ruth Bader Ginsburg opened for her so that she could slam them shut. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Here, I've even got 9 in my pocket you can have. No?
You told a chiropractor you're going to DO school and they lost their shit? They hate that you can be real doctors. Hey, well, they are real doctors. They're totally real doctors. Just ask them. Yeah, it's totally evidence-based and not voodoo bullshit at all. Oh god, being frozen sucks. There we go. Maybe I should work on that. Wait a second. Oh, I thought there were two of them. Bummer. Oh, 40 minutes. Ah. Weak. Oh, shit. That's trash. Bummer. So the Cali thing. Oh, okay, I need to read the Cali thing. This sounds like this is gonna be really good. Nice and juicy. Alright. 1962. College of Osteopathic Medicine's Physicians and Surgeons. Converted to an allopathic medical college. Okay. Upon $65 per applicant and completion of a series of weekend seminars, granted 2,500 unearned MD degrees. So, I mean, I know this was in 62, so that's probably like, you know, $500 now or something. That's awesome. So you just like pay them a couple $100 and they're like, yeah, sure, here's your MD, fuck it, whatever. Here you go. It's fine. Is Biden gonna forgive 100K loans or no? I don't know. I haven't kept track of any of that shit, dude. I'm like, I hate politics in this country so much. The whole like, I mean, I was pretty damn over it with the whole like Trump disaster, and then like abortion came through, and I was like, oh, there was a floor below this subfloor. Okay, cool. That's perfect. We just keep finding a way to dig that hole deeper. That's great. Oh, the Cali Supreme Court said no. Is my comp mostly base with a 10 to 20 at the end of the year? Yeah, kinda. Anesthesia's compensation is really weird because Medicare and Medicaid reimburse anesthesia about like a third-ish, like a little more than a third of what they do for other specialties, like for similar, you know, time investment procedures. So basically, if you work for a hospital, like realistically speaking, if you work for a hospital, your group will not be able to like support itself. So you have to get a hospital stipend. So basically, we just tell the hospital like what we want to make, and then if there's like any, you know, overshoot or wiggle room in that, we just split it as a group, and that's basically our bonus. So I would say 10% is pretty generous. It's usually probably like 5 to 10%, honestly. Which is still great. You know, it just randomly shows up on your check and you're like, oh shit, that's awesome. But
Exile.
that's not bad, right? Oh, those are all low tiers. Yeah, that sucks. Okay. I don't know why I picked that up, but I'll ID it since I did. Fun stuff with ZO history? Lay it on me, man. What you got?
Lessons.
Yeah, I would say most anesthesia groups are probably base, either all salaried or like mostly base salary. Allopathic medicine was called heroic medicine? Really? That's great. I've never heard that before. That definitely seems like something that I would have heard. But I guess not. Complete the remaining syndicate encounters? Well, I was trying to do that. What did I not complete? Did I not talk to somebody or something? It's not a story the allopaths will tell me. Oh, well.
Salam.
Fair enough.
Exile. Keep your
Okay.
eyes on.
Is this bugged? Darth AT is still the osteopath. Dark AT still. I love it. Oh, maybe it triggered this thing and I have to go kill this fucking fortification first.
Think I prefer killing over the goose.
This den is ours, Exile.
Oh. Alright, that went fast.
No more cells. You have to promise me.
I think it's really awesome, actually, that, like, DOs are sort of slowly gaining equivalency.
Absolutely brutal.
I mean, the last couple, charting outcomes would tend to disagree with that, but at least it's better than it used to be. Yeah, one of these days, maybe like nurse practitioners and physician's assistants and stuff will be paid equally too. We can only hope. How far behind are DOs and patient outcomes? I don't think there's any difference. Not that I'm aware of, at least. Black Side, the mercenaries. Excellent. Does a DOMD merge herd MDs? I don't think so. I mean, are you, like, you mean in terms of, like, employability or, like, supply and demand kind of thing? Because, like, DOs were still, you know, qualified for the same jobs that MDs were. And, like, somebody said, I can't remember, I think it was Pat, said, like, places that didn't hire DOs before, or didn't match DOs before, still don't. Like, just the fact that the residencies are merged, it hasn't really changed much as of yet. In terms of residencies, no, I don't think so. I mean, the last charting outcomes in the match was, like, pretty heavily pro MD, as I recall. Like, especially for the more competitive specialties. DO pride. Hey man, I wish I had applied DO. That would have made my life a whole fucking lot easier. So I applied to 28 MD schools and got into 1. My chances are pretty good that I would have gotten into at least 1 DO school, just like straight up acceptance, instead of having to sweat it out until the end of May to get in off the wait list. Your grocery delivery was depressing? Why was it depressing? Did you have some, like, melted ice cream or something? Or some shitty produce? We have that.
Impressive display, warrior, but not enough.
We have that every now
I
and
may have
then.
a good choice. Now listen up.
The brand new DO schools are worrying. They started by... Oh, yeah, Carib School... Oh, parent companies, yikes. Uh-oh. Whoops. So they're kind of flooding the market a little bit. Going DO, you knew you were kind of limited to primary care-ish. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the DO schools are for profit, that's true. I had heard that. Let's see. An adopted child from spinal meningitis in 1864 still concluded that the unorthodox medical practices of his day were frequently ineffective and sometimes harmful. The use of calomel, mercury chloride, really? There were no standardized dosages for the drug. Wow. Great. I sort of wonder what kind of things that we do now will be thought of like mercury chloride in the future. Like, chemotherapy is like almost certainly one of them. People will look back on that and be like, oh my god, those fucking barbarians did this to people. I mean, because you're like literally poisoning your cancer just a little bit more than the rest of your body. That's what chemotherapy is. Ditto radiation. But at least radiation is kind of advanced and it's like targeted and stuff. It still has a pretty fair amount of collateral damage. Immunotherapy gonna wipe out Radog? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean it'll make a huge chunk out of it. Like from what I understand, like CAR T-cell therapy is like they're trying to find a way to make it less effective because it just like cluster bombs the entire cancer. It just like instantly freaking kills it and kills the patient with it because they get like an overload of potassium that they don't know how to deal with. Which is awesome. I mean, I guess kind of a good problem to have. You know, you're moribund anyway. What about organ removal? Think it'll be unnecessary? No. I mean, because like evolution, we pretty much stalled natural selection, right? There's like zero natural selection in humans. In fact, we like actively reverse it a lot of the time. So people still have gallbladders and appendixes that get infected and need to come out. And there's also like convenience, you know, like a lot of people who get tonsillectomies just don't want to get tonsil infections anymore. And I don't blame them. Like, that sucks. So you just get your tonsils out and meh. You know, it's a fairly minor procedure. What do I want this to have? Can I make this a good weapon? Cause bleeding on hit, huh? Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, you worked on a CAR T project? That's cool. I think Radonk is really cool, actually. I honestly think that's a really neat field. They get so many cool toys to play with. Dead or not, it's still really interesting to me. When I go see a doctor for treatment, do I size them up? Yeah, 100%. I try not to. I try to be good about that, but I absolutely do. It's just sort of, it's natural. Gamma Knife sounds sick? Yeah, that's like the most badass name ever, right? Yeah, I absolutely judge the people taking care of me, and it's actually worse when it's like somebody who's taking care of like a family member. I will like totally be on their ass about whatever they're doing. Not like openly, you know, I like think it in my head. I like to think I was actually pretty good about it when, like when my wife gave birth last time. I was pretty good. What do you mean, size them up? Like, evaluate them. Or, you know, like, judge them for their clinical decisions. Oh, I need that. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Shit. Shield crush. Boop. Finished. Lovely. Size them up. Can I take this doctor in hand-to-hand combat? The answer is probably no. Probably no. I am a lover, not a fighter, guys. You know this. Your immunoprof said that we're doing the opposite of natural selection. Yeah, I mean, basically. Basically, right? Have I ever told a family member not to see a doctor again after sizing them up? I don't think so. I don't think so. I have, so that's... You bring up a really interesting point that I've actually kind of been kicking around recently. I'll get to that in a second. More C-sections needed since big head baby's not filtered out. Immunotherapy is allowing people to reproduce who would die. Yeah, absolutely. If I take a shot for every time you tag me tonight, I'd get poisoning? Oh, it's worth it. Totally worth it. Like, I mean, you can see the, like... Oh, it actually only says 4 in my Discord tags. Can you not see some of the questions? Oh, it's in a Discord chat. I'm live in a Discord server. So the point that I wanted to address that's good gosh darn sort of tangentially brought up is like being a doctor, you sort of get insight into other physicians who are not good, like who aren't good at their job, and there's kind of this like dilemma that you run into all the time when, you know, you see patients of that doctor and they're just like super happy with him. They're like, oh, such a great guy, and you know, he's a great doctor. Like, yeah. So like, do you tell him? You know, like, what do you do? And I don't know the answer to that. Like, especially if it's somebody you work with. And like, I can think of how do I describe this? I have friends who I recently found out are seeing physicians who I personally would never ever go to, and they have been seeing said physicians for a long time, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't think that those people are, the physicians are dangerous. Otherwise, I probably would say something. But they are they do not practice the way that I would recommend, or you know, as well as other people in their field who I know. Why are they bad? So basically they don't organize well, they don't plan well, and they end up doing a lot of things kind of like unnecessarily or after hours. So, you know, there's a fairly strong correlation between like doing procedures after hours and bad outcomes. So that's, you know, there's a patient safety like / care quality kind of thing there. They're very difficult to work with, and kind of push the envelope for their own convenience. The physicians do, that is. The ones that I'm thinking about, at least. So, yeah, it's a weird situation when you like have somebody that you know who wants to go to a physician that you would not recommend, and there's kind of a like weird ethical bind that it puts you in. It's nice when someone has a brand new NP being their provider and the provider is super nice and cool. Yeah. Yep, we've run into that. Like my mother-in-law actually like broke her ankle. She had like a hairline fracture in her ankle several years ago. I can't remember exactly when this was. But she went to an orthopedics office and like saw a PA, and the PA just scheduled her for surgery. She didn't see the orthopod. She just like straight up got scheduled for surgery. And
I must have time to gather my will.
you know, I was like, that sounds super fishy. Like, you're kind of like a, you know, medium risk patient, you know, probably a high-risk patient for a surgery center, which is where they were going to do it, and you never saw a physician? She was like, well, he was a real nice guy. He prayed with me and everything. I was like, dude, you've got to see a doctor about this, man. You have to see a doctor about that. You can't just, like, do what the nice PA says. And hey, lo and behold, she went and saw, like, a different orthopod, and he was like, oh, you just need a boot for, like, 6 weeks. You don't need surgery. You'll be fine. Great. I mean, at least, like, I said something that time, because I had, you know, no skin in the game. You know, I didn't know these people. I was like, oh, that sounds like you're getting railroaded. Sounds real fucked up. You should not do that. There was a Rate My Professor for physicians. I cannot remember what it was, though. But I mean, there are tons of physician rating sites, and like hardly anybody ever uses them. That said, the physician that, or one of the physicians that I was thinking of earlier, one of my partners, like, randomly had, like, a Facebook, like, because I guess, you know, just, he's part of, like, a bunch of Facebook groups, like, where we work, and, this got, like, served to him on his feed, and it was, like, a review of one of the physicians that I was thinking of, and it was just, like, absolutely scathing, and it was fucking hilarious. I can't really go into too much more detail without, like, totally giving away what's going on, but it, like, he texted it to everybody in our group, and we were just like, damn! It was really funny. The Joint Commission, yeah. Something like that. Except they don't know what the hell's going on either. Oh yeah, I keep looking at that. Why do I keep looking at that fucking map, expecting it to be something that I can use? Okay, did all those. Huh. Okay. Let's buy something else. Waste more of my currency. Yay. Cemetery it is.
Stay vigilant.
Due to rising costs of fentanyl, we're going to be transitioning to carfentanil for chronic pain. Nice. Can I show the cat sometime? I don't know if I have any pictures of him. And we don't really let him inside. We keep him in the garage overnight because my wife's terrified that he'll, like, get mauled by an animal or something, but he, rest assured, is the one doing the mauling, if there's any mauling to be done. He's leaner and meaner than he's ever been, and he's still probably, like, 17 or 18 pounds. He's a huge fucking cat.
I must have time to gather my will.
My wife is right. Well, we don't really have coyotes around here. We have foxes, though. But he stares down the foxes. Foxes don't fuck with him. There's 2 foxes that kind of, like, sit around our like, I live right next to a park, and there's 2 foxes that are just kind of around, eating all the wildlife. I'm the crazy cat guy. That's me. Crazy cat guy. Yeah, I could take him or leave him. Boots is the nicest freaking cat ever, though. Like, I have literally never seen a nicer cat. He's so fucking nice. And, like, I think he's bitten my kid, like, twice. Like, only after extreme transgressions. Like, I was like, dude, Owen, you earned that, man. You 100% earned that bite. Ah! But yeah, he tolerates, you know, even when a kid was, like, super little, like 1-year-old, he'd let him, like, grab him and pull his tail and, like, mess with his face and stuff, and, like, usually he'd just, like, slowly walk away, if he even moved. What did you deserve the bite? Just like fucked with him a lot. I think he like grabbed his hair or something and like pulled, or like hit him. I can't even remember, but every time Boots has like reacted adversarially, I was like, yep, I get it. I get it. You fucked around and found out, man. Any tips for preclinical? Getting 100 on clinical application and 70s on the preclinical knowledge? Yeah, that's so I'm assuming what you're saying is like you're struggling with the like rote memorization part. I struggled with that as well, assuming that's what you mean. And I don't really have a good answer for you other than practice. Like, just straight up sit there and just memorize shit. Do the best you can. Like, just memorize an entire page. And then, like, you know, make sure you can, like, name all the structures or all the drugs or whatever the hell you're, you know, you're studying. And then just, like, go through it until you, like, never ever miss one. And it's terrible. It's a terrible, boring, mind-numbing thing to do, but it's the only way. Did I ever fail an exam? I don't think I outright failed an exam. There were certainly tests that I like. So our tests were kind of like graded in sections. We had multiple exam like what am I trying to say? Like multiple subjects at once because it was all systems based, and so we split everything down into the like component sections. So I failed sections before. But like the whole exam never failed. I mean, because sometimes there were like, you know, tests that had like, I don't know, 8 neuro questions on it or something. So if you missed like 4 neuro questions, just coincidentally you failed that, right? But yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't think I've ever failed anything of consequence, ever. Which is great. Duplicated divination cards. Okay. Let's see. Telepsych? Dude, anything that you can do remotely is awesome. Anki for memorization? Seems like a good idea. Failed your last lab, but still overall passing. Yeah, I mean... practice makes perfect, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I struggled with that all throughout. Just grind it. Just grind it out. It's really all you can do. Do I have some more? More Agnarods? No. So I should have checked the rolls on that before I posted it. Oh well. Obviously didn't screw myself too hard, but let's see. What do we have here? Imaging, anatomy. Oh yeah. First column is yours and the second is class average? Dude, that's awesome. What are you talking about, dude? You did really well. Except anatomy. That's awesome. Yeah, a lot of it is not intuitive, you're right. I agree.
Exile.
Yeah, it's hard, dude. It is hard. That's not at all how I learn. Increase damage with one-hand weapons. Yeah, we'll keep that. Yeah, like I always learn for understanding and like you know, in sort of a holistic approach, and that just does not apply to anatomy at all. Fine. You can tell what happens when it breaks. Nice. The fear of getting into primary care is what drives you forward. Hey man, you can do a lot worse than some primary care gigs. It's not all bad. Some family practice things are pretty solid jobs. Ooh. Alright. Let's corrupt that so I actually get credit for doing it. Oh good, it's way harder now. Cool. That's perfect.
I must have time to gather my will.
I want to do that. Eh. It was a joke. No, I know. I know. Weekends, holidays, plus vacations, and 300K? Yeah, I mean, it's... And your loans paid off. Don't forget the loans paid off thing. So here's the trick to primary care that, like, you guys all know, because you listen to me ramble over and over and over, but... Dude, do not fucking forget to, like, make your contract awesome. There's so many perks that you can have for going into primary care, because they're so desperate... And they, meaning everyone who hires primary care physicians, they are so desperate for providers that it's just, like, fucking unbelievable. So there's zero reason for you to go into primary care and not get, like, substantial, like, hiring bonus, loan forgiveness, you know, moving fees, like, any extra cash that you can even think of, like, you know, negotiate it, because it'll happen. And if, like, wherever you're talking to doesn't make it happen, then go somewhere else, because somebody will. Guarantee it. What are the best perks? I'd say loan forgiveness is way up there. Loan forgiveness is good. Like, you know, you can have profit sharing if it's a private clinic kind of thing. What are other good ones? I mean, days off, you know, more vacation. Oddly enough, in medicine, vacation is often not negotiable. Even though, you know, for pretty much any other field it would be. You just, like, get what everybody else gets. But, you know, sometimes it can be. Like, if it's not a big practice and there's just, like, one or two of you, and the hospital is your employer, then it's worth a shot. Ooh, beautiful. So yeah, loan forgiveness, definitely a huge one. Retirement, you know, if you can get them to, like, match or do some weird, like, contribution safe harbor nonsense, that's also obviously really good. You know, if you can get them to get rid of any sort of, like, patient quota, you know, like volume requirements, that's a big deal, because a lot of primary care has those sorts of things, which is shitty. Can you get cash straight up instead of loan forgiveness? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's hiring bonuses. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Wait, that might actually be really good.
I must have time to gather my will.
Oh, it's not. Damn it. There's 2 mods together instead of 1. Fuck. Okay. Bummer. Yeah, I'm saying, like, do not forget to negotiate. That is, like, super important. Oh, man, I gotta get Can't Be Frozen. Not doing me any favors. How much cash? 300 grand? I don't think you can get 300 grand, but you might get 50. You probably have to sign some sort of, you know, you have to sign a contract for X amount of years. Usually it's, like, between 3 and 5. Depending on how much they're giving you and, like, what you're asking for and stuff. Like, that's probably what you'll give up, realistically, is time. You know, if you want a lot of stuff, then they're going to want you to commit to them for a while. Which is fine. you know, whatever. That is pretty good. There's a quiet, high-pitched frequency that plays. Noise sounds similar to scrolling through a menu quickly. Interesting. I wonder if it's gain. Let's see. Is that better? It might have, like, you hear it? Shit. That is odd. It made no change, but it might be interference related. Fuck. Well, that's not good. So all these settings are what they usually are. I wonder what that would be. I wonder if I have, like, sound playing in the background or something. Close all this random shit. Well, that's frustrating. It's a Twitch issue, you think? It might be. Twitch does some funky shit from time to time. They have tinnitus. Everybody in chat has tinnitus. That's awesome. I think that's the most reasonable solution. All of you guys just have fucked up ears. Well, I don't know what it is. I'll listen to it afterwards and see if I can fix anything. I'll do a little, like, sound engineering stuff. It's probably about time I did that anyway. Just to kind of, like, fine-tune stuff. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I've known this for a while, but I think it's probably about time I get, there's a program that lets you, like, play music. Basically, you just play whatever you want, and it doesn't show up in the VOD. So, like, basically I could play, you know, DMCA-able music, and it would never be in the VOD. So unless somebody came, like, into the stream to bust me, which is never gonna happen because there's only, like, 4 of you assholes who listen to me ever, then I'm fine. And there's some, like, pretty big streamers using it. Or certainly much bigger than I am. Let's see. Do I want to use an essence on this? No. Ah! God, being frozen. Ah! Have to work on that after this. That is my next mission. After this, I'm gonna get Can't Be Frozen, because fuck that. Let's see. Unwise to stream during med school? You don't want to get in trouble for making chiropractic jokes. Because we're all value providers. Yeah, absolutely. No, I kind of wish that I'd started streaming during med school, honestly. I mean, part of the reason for that is I would have been on, you know, like the cutting edge of Twitch and would have been one of the people who has lots of viewers just because there was nobody else to watch. But yeah, I don't think that's a problem. You know, but, you know, do be conscious of, like, not selling people out and kind of, like, throwing others under the bus, because that's going to be real bad for you as a student. The story behind my profile pic? Oh, no, I'm super enthused about the pie. It's, that was actually taken before Thanksgiving. We had a Thanksgiving, like, dinner at my house, and I was very excited about the size of that giant-ass pie. I love pecan pie, man. Super tasty. That's a Costco pie, by the way. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't even buy... They're like $7 for like a 16-inch freaking pie. I don't think you can even buy the pecans that you need to make that pie for $7. But yeah, if you want to stream, that's a valuable thing to do, man. There's like... There are literally no other physicians streaming on Twitch. It's crazy. Like literally the only person other than Dr. K who's a psychiatrist, and you know, that's, I'm not gonna say it's not medicine, but it's not like what most people think of like doctors as, right? Beyond New. Forged in blood. A Costco pie. Yeah, it's from Costco. They have delicious baked goods, man. Get you a Costco membership and eat a bunch of fucking awesome bakery stuff. Did Dr. K team get back to me? No, they didn't. I never heard back from them. I was surprised by that. I thought they'd at least, like, let me down easy. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, back when Omicron hit, back in January, I sent an email to Dr. K's team, presumably. I don't think it was directly to him. Yeah, I sent an email to his team saying, like, hey, you know, let's, like, everybody's out of work. Like, let's talk about the, you know, mental health toll that this takes on everyone. Like, being overworked constantly and, like, sick and, you know, unpredictable work conditions and all that sorts of stuff. And I thought that'd be, like, a surefire hit. But oddly enough, he never really talked about it. Like, he didn't get back to me, and nothing that I saw on his stream mentioned any of that. I thought for sure he'd be willing to talk about it, but whatever. But yeah, anyway, like there just are not doctors streaming. I mean, it's kind of a like old white guy profession anyway, right? So, sort of out of the comfort zone of most of the people in it, and you know, a lot of people just don't find this worth their time, but I like it. I've had a lot of fun. What did I want to do with this? I guess put life on it? I don't know what the hell I was picking this up for. Whatever. Put some life on it. See if it sells. Craft. There we go. What did I say to Dr. K? I have no idea. I think I just, like, introduced myself, like, stated my case. I'm like, you know, said what I did, and it's like, hey, would you be willing to talk about this? Like, I can come on your stream, you come on my stream, whatever. Why is Darth Vader mad at Obi-Wan? I do not know. It's probably some daddy issues. Lots of daddy issues. Let's see here. Ara, Sister of Light. You're not grilling me hard enough? You're totally grilling me, though. Dr. K's going the Dr. Oz route. I worry about that. I worry about that. I actually watched a couple of YouTube videos about, so like when Wreckful killed himself. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with that situation, but like he did an interview with this another streamer named Wreckful, who that basically put him on the map. Dr. K, that is. So, like, when... Like, honestly, it sort of seems like Dr. K did him dirty, and kind of, like, bait and switched the whole, like, therapist relationship thing. He was like, I'm your friend, I'm your therapist, I'm your friend, I'm your therapist, and, like, kind of fucked with him a little bit, and there was a whole, like, YouTube series about, like, how messed up that was, and lots of people commented about it. You know, in, like, thoughtful fashion. So, yeah, that was sort of, my first introduction to him maybe not being the most, like, what's the right word? Benevolent of people. Yeah, and then Wreckful killed himself, right? So, yeah. Yeah, bad. Bad juju. His company employs untrained people and charges a lot per hour? Really? And they aren't therapists? I thought that was the whole point, right? Like, his whole thing is, like, consulting and, like, mental health for like, corporations and stuff, isn't it? They're coaches. Huh. Okay. Well, that's odd. Oh, why did I close that? Ara, Sister of Light. What map is she in? She's in the Cold River. Lovely. Do I have a Cold River map? I sure hope I do. Probably grifting since mental health is a hot topic. Yeah, well, I mean, he's doing really well because of that. Maybe it's best I didn't collab with him. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that would have stymied me too much, honestly. That wouldn't have been a big deal. But it's kind of sad, though, because, like, I feel like that's such a useful thing to have. You know, that seems like a good service. But, I mean, if it's done poorly, then, not so much. Not so much. Come on now. Let's see. Capture the soul of a mass boss. Awesome. Why is... Oh, I'm pressing the wrong key. Ha! Beautiful. I promise I'm not a brand risk. Awesome. Coaching per... This is from their website, I guess? Oh, yeah, it's Healthy Gamer. Designed to build your mental health by tackling general issues with a coach and 6 others. Together, you build the support you need to make a positive change in your lives. Okay, well... Can you collab with me? What kind of collaboration do we have in mind here? Charges $50 an hour? That actually doesn't seem like that much for a consultation sort of service. Dude, I am not in the financial ballpark to have a sugar baby. I'm sorry. I can't provide that sort of lifestyle for you. So this is interesting. I'm very interested in hearing about the dark side of Dr. K. Because, like, to be honest, like, I wouldn't say that he was, like, you know, I model anything after him, but I'm like, oh yeah, well, this guy's done well. You know, like, clearly there's a market for this medicine thing. You know, like, inspiration maybe is the better word. I was like, this can work, you know. But he obviously he's had a lot of help. Like, you know, he was with Devin Nash's talent agency and all that sort of stuff. And like after Wreckful, he really like got big, and the whole like the ability to talk with streamers and stuff about mental health is a big deal. And as you say, mental health is kind of like consistently trending in the US, and it's like it's getting a lot of attention. So his sort of like not therapy kind of brand thing is, you know, it's pretty easy to collaborate with people and get a lot of views that way. Any word on private equity owned groups like Envision? I do not know what Envision specifically is, but generally speaking, private equity groups are not very good for medicine. Because people, and you will find this out very quickly, people who aren't on the front lines of whatever specialty you're doing have no idea like how your specialty works at all. Like they see X's and O's and numbers and shit, but they don't know like what generates those numbers. I'm trying to think of an example I can give you without getting myself in trouble, and I cannot. Like, say you had call for nurses, and the nurses really hated that call, and everybody leaves because of it. And all you need to get rid of that call is just to like hire a couple nurses for night coverage, right? So say you don't do that. You're like, well, we can't do that. That's expensive. That costs $200,000 in salary and benefits to hire a night, 3 night nurses to cover this. And you don't do it, but you end up paying way more money to support, like, training new people, onboarding new people, recruiting new people, and paying temp workers in the meantime. So it's much, much, much more expensive to have turnover than it is to just pay somebody, or multiple somebodies even, and get your ship righted. That's the kind of thing that you run into with private equity, where they just constantly go with the lowest bidder, and it's like a penny wise pound foolish, what have you done for me lately sort of situation, and they fuck themselves real hard in the long run, but usually they don't care because they've sold out by the time that comes to be. And like care quality suffers, longevity suffers. It's a real problem. You need to die. There we go. I could collab with Dr. Mike. I would totally collab with Dr. Mike. He seems like a cool dude. Let's see. Private inpatient psych service where patients are committed? Yeah, you can do that. That's where I did my psych rotation, actually. It's the State Mental Hospital in Arkansas. Big coastal cities have very few private anesthesia groups. Yeah, it's a dying breed, man. I think there's like maybe only 2 or 3 in Kansas City. There's not very many. Or no, that's not true. There's probably more than that. Probably like 4. I think there's 4 in Kansas City that I can think of. But it's tough. It's tough anymore because you have to have like, you have to have a very good relationship with your hospital, because the drive for the hospital, like the allure of the private equity takeover, is very high, because they're promised, all these low costs and low numbers and stuff. But I happen to be in the enviable position of having had another specialty at my hospital go that route, specifically emergency medicine, go figure. And the hospital kind of ate shit in spectacular fashion. It went really, really, really badly. Like, basically all of the things that I just mentioned, like, happened. Like, turnover was huge, care quality suffered badly. Just everything went to hell, and their emergency room was in disarray. And so they're really gun-shy to do that with any other specialty. So I'm glad that we had a local guinea pig to pave the way for our security. But yeah, just private groups in medicine in general are kind of going away because of those attractive cost issues. What tier map is this? Is it tier 10, I believe? Yeah, tier 10. M goes full MP mode. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Box Dr. Mike, he would knock my ass out, guy. That guy is ripped, man. No way. Box Dr. Mike. I love it. Have I ever made a med student cry? Probably. I would imagine so. I'm not the sugarcoating type. I don't, like, I'm not gonna be, like, outright mean to you, but if you're fucking up, I'm gonna tell you you're fucking up. And a lot of people don't care for that so much. Oh my god, this guy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit. Why did I lose all my auras? Wonder I was getting manhandled. Fuck. Okay. Maybe I'm just gonna get out of here. I can make you cry anytime. Come on, baby. Challenge accepted. There we go. Get out of here. What I would give to be manhandled. Med school presenting a bit of a dry spell for you, is it, Cockroach Princess? Let's see, what did I miss here? Curious what... Oh, no, that's me. I said that. Stream Elements said that. Yeah, no, I'm pretty careful to not do anything, like, super actionable or offensive when there's students around. Which is so very hard for me, as you might imagine. But we will... If something dangerous or, you know, questionable is done, we definitely have a conversation about it. Fortunately, I haven't really had to do that very much, but it's certainly a possibility.
I must have
Alright, what am I...
my will.
4 minutes. Yeah, no. Sure. Cannibals. Why not? This whole cockroach finch says getting pimped is all the relief they need. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Find God. Oh God. Oh God. I think that's the point. Why did I pick that up? Nope, don't want to sell a map. I want to sell the gloves. Is this useful to me? Might not be bad. It's a lot of words. Okay, there we go. Give me life. Eh, good enough. I'm selling this shit anyway. Let's see. Life, accuracy, and percent accuracy. Okay. I'll take 10C for that. Well, that will work. Hell, I'll even take 9C for that. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's got all res, though. Maybe I'll do 15. What is the origin of my name? I will show you. It's from an old comic called Red Meat. There's a character in it named Milkman Dan. And he is a diabolical bastard. And it's really funny. So let's read this comic, shall we? You better not be mean to me, Milkman Dan, or you're gonna go to hell when you die. I don't think so, Karen. Milkman Dan isn't ever going to die. You see, several years ago, an Oriental mystic told me about the ancient secrets of immortality. I can do what I want and have nothing to fear. You're lying! My dad said only God can live forever. What if I'm not lying? What if Milkman Dan has beaten God at his own game? Just imagine, if you will, what kind of delicious suffering awaits you at the hand of the most powerful milkman in the universe. You can't do nothing to make me suffer. Oh no? What is that shit? Of course the punchline is like invisible. Seen your bike lately? Nice. So yeah, it's after Milkman Dan in Red Meat. Thought you were gonna say diabetic instead of diabolical. He might be diabetic. I don't know. Where do proteins go when they're damaged? The ER? Get out of my stream. Oh my god. If I have a god complex like Milkman Dan, why didn't I go into surgery? I don't know. It's a good question. I should have done that. Should have been a CT surgeon, really. It does work with it does work with propofol. I could adapt. CT's kinda. Yeah. I think interventional cardiology is the play these days, right? Why did I go into Durham if the lifestyle is good? I thought about Durham, but one, I didn't want to try to qualify for it, and two, it's boring as fuck. I can handle it because I'd be making so much money, but yeah, dermatology is like, it's like dermatology residency is kind of hard because it's so technical and there's like lots and lots and lots of different like weird fine distinctions between things, but the actual practice is, from what I understand, is like about as straightforward as it could possibly get. So your roommate wants to do it, but he's bottom of the class. Will, he's got another thing coming. I think it's worth it to do a CT or regional fellowship. CT, yes. Regional, absolutely fucking not. No way. Regional is a total waste of a year. Hearts is definitely worth it though. Yeah, Hearts is like actually, regional is like nerve blocks and like basically targeted anesthesia. So like limb anesthesia kind of. So if like somebody breaks their wrist, you can anesthetize their arm instead of their, you know, putting them to sleep. And that is an unaccredited fellowship for anesthesia that a lot of people do for some reason. But it is a huge waste of your time. You can get proficient in anesthesia in regional in 2 weeks if you just focus on doing it. It's really not hard. And in residency, you will have so much experience doing regional that there's zero reason that you would need to do a fellowship for any reason at all. Definitely do not do that. Oh man, good talk tonight, guys. That was a lot of fun. I gotta go. I'm way over time. Don't forget to join Discord if you haven't already. I will be streaming during the day on Wednesday. I will be streaming during the day. I don't know what time, but I will let you know when I figure that out. Because I am off Wednesday, and I will be here alone at the house by myself, doing nefarious things, and I'll let you in on at least some of them. Sorry, join late. Ah, that's all good, man. I'm in Discord. Ask me whatever. You guys know you can DM me anytime. Rock, paper, scissors, please. Good gosh darn, you're a beautiful man too. God damn it. Thank you for joining my stream. Gracing you with my presence, of course, of course. C-Team seems like a significant amount of work? Not necessarily. Depends. Depends on where you are. Just makes me more qualified. Alright, y'all. You have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your 3-day weekend, and I will see you Wednesday during the day. I will keep you abreast of when that's gonna happen. I said breast. Good night.